Greetings, family. This is a short video on decentralized autonomous organizational domains, councils, and thresholds, in an effort to help clarify what a DAO really is and what DAOs actually make decisions on. I'd like to share with you a few facts. So first, the Earth Nation is actually a whole bunch of decentralized autonomous organizations that are interconnected. The main DAO is called the Keys Collective. And when we talk about Earth Nation vault holders, that's what that is referring to. The Keys Collective has vault holders in it, and the way the Keys Collective works is it's one vote per person with chaining and forking delegation of decisions. 90% majority consensus on the first round, 7-day time period, 3-day minimum time period on each round after that, and 39 rounds total. Each round, the total consensus drops by 1%. Meaning round 2 will pass if it reaches 89% consensus. The vote holders of the Keys Collective have 3 specific things they vote on. The first is system level changes. Like, for instance, how much commission we pay to ambassadors, stuff like that. Second, distribution of resources. We approve or deny proposals for funding. Third, the council can bring people back from exile. They can also elect new center coordinators, and they can fire center coordinators as well. Those are the only 3 things the Keys Collective votes on, nothing else. And once a team has been funded, the Keys Collective no longer has a say in how that team operates. All the Keys Collective votes on is whether or not we give them money in the first place. So when someone comes to us for funding initially, that's the vote holder's time to say, hey, look, I don't like this part of your plan. I want you to change it. And until you change it, I'm going to block your vote. But once you've said yes, you said yes. There's no reneging on that. So every past proposal for funding, when that happens, another decentralized autonomous organization is made. And the people who pass that proposal, by default, get to decide how it's run. Now, in the future, we'll be asking for more clarity before we pass proposals on how exactly that DAO is going to steward that money. But for now, that's something we have left rather open-ended. And so the media branch operates completely differently than the technology branch, operates completely different than the administrative branch, operates completely different than Love Cycle, operates completely different than Sacred Spaces, operates completely differently than the Avatar team. And guess what? It's not up to the EN vote holders to dictate or decide or make decisions for these individual teams. Now, the third body of power we have is the Council of Center Coordinators. And it's the Council of Center Coordinators' responsibility to make sure that each individual DAO within the EN is keeping all of their agreements, especially the agreements they made in the proposal to get funded. Now, if the Council of Center Coordinators decides that an individual isn't keeping their agreements, after due process, they have the right to exile. If they decide that a group is not keeping their agreements, they have the right to suspend funding for that account. Also, they have the right to veto any individual expenditure from any group. And finally, the Keys Collective has the right to veto a decision the Council of Center Coordinators made. However, the the vote holders themselves can't veto an expenditure made by an individual group. The Council of Center Coordinators has that power. And the vote holders has the power to veto the Council of Center Coordinators and to decide who is on that council. Taking another step farther, for individual land properties, none of these 3 groups, no groups involved actually dictate what happens on the land. And let's just use an example here, our heart quarters, Circle of Children. The contract on our lease is in my name, me. I'm leasing the property. Dakota Kaiser is leasing the Circle of Children property from the nonprofit board. Now, as Dakota Kaiser, I am graciously allowing the HQ of the Earth Nation to be here. But because it's my name on the lease, it's my property, and I get to make the rules. I've been really kind and really gracious and really open and have been allowing the group at the HQ to make almost all of the decisions in a decentralized way. But because literally it's my name on the lease and it's not the Earth Nation on the lease or even the Flower of Life Society, it's my name, then I have also had the right to cancel the contract, which I didn't fully do. I have canceled the contract for a bunch of people and reduced it down to a small amount, but that's my domain. Likewise, our technologies are the domain of Stada, and I'm one of the founders of that. So that's also my domain. And I don't need to check in with any of you about decisions regarding my properties or my businesses. And I will need everyone to get clear on that each council has a domain and a very specific area that they vote on. We don't all vote on everything. And in fact, there's very specific things only that each body votes on. And that's really how decentralized autonomous organizations work. It's not let me all vote, like if, we think Dakota should brush his teeth with like fluoride toothpaste or dirt. It's like, oh, should we give Dakota money to brush his teeth with fluoride or dirt? No, we shouldn't vote on that at all. That's how we need to think, right? Thank you. I hope this is making more sense for people because God help me. We need to understand this to move forward into a 1,000-person scale. DAO.